This is passage number 1. Read the passage and here are the questions and answers. Students, I have already provided you with the easy explanation of a work of artifice. Do check the pinned comment section for all important video links. Question 1. What kind of a tree is the bonsai? What does it stand for in the poem? There are two questions, two subparts in this question number 1. So remember to change the paragraphs. What kind of a tree is the bonsai? The bonsai is a miniature representation of nature. The roots and branches of the bonsai are pruned and tightly tied so it does not grow to its real size. It is usually kept in a pot inside a room as a piece of decoration. And also add that a bonsai does not require much care and watering. Does not need much care and watering. What kind of a tree is the bonsai? Add this. And now the important words and expressions. Miniature representation of nature. Roots and branches pruned and tied tightly so that it does not grow to its real size, and it is a piece of decoration. This is the first subpart answer. And now the second subpart answer. What does it stand for in the poem? I have changed the paragraph. It stands for limited growth and loss of freedom. Very important. Number 1, limited growth, and number 2, loss of freedom. And a life with limited space to grow. This is point number 3. It also stands for the limitations by which society controls women. Number 4, limitations. And number 5, and represents women who are suppressed and subjugated. The bonsai is a very complex symbol. Therefore, there are many symbolic meanings of the word bonsai. And I have mentioned almost all of them. Number 2, where could it fully grow? What has stunted its growth? It could have fully grown if it had been allowed to grow outside. This word outside is very, very important because bonsai plants are usually kept inside the room and in a small pot. So, if the tree had been allowed to grow outside the pot in its natural habitat on the side of a mountain, then it could have fully grown as tall as 80 feet. It's there in the book. Next, what has stunted its growth? Stunted, controlled, limited. Constant pruning and whittling of the roots and branches of the bonsai by a gardener has stunted its growth. Dear students, in this way, write to the point answers, understand what is being asked and write accordingly. Moreover, the limited space of the pot is another reason for its stunted growth. It does not get enough space. The roots does not get enough space to spread themselves, and therefore the bonsai does not grow tall. It remains small. It remains a little tree. After this, question number 3, what does the gardener stand for in the poem? Why does he not let the bonsai grow to its full potential? I'll put a question mark here. What does the gardener stand for? The metaphorical meaning of the gardener. The metaphorical significance of the gardener. The gardener is a metaphor for society, very important, and the male members of the society. I just turn the page very quickly. Male members of the family, specifically. Especially perhaps the husband. The gardener sets rules for the plant and does not allow it to grow to its full potential because so that it can be placed in an attractive pot inside a room and be used as an object of interior decoration. What is the usefulness of a bonsai tree? It is used as an object of interior decoration, and it is the duty of the gardener to see that a proper bonsai is kept in a pot and the bonsai suits the purpose. Question number 4. Why does the gardener want the bonsai to remain small and weak? What is its implication in the poem? Again, dear students, avoid repetition. You may use synonyms and avoid repetition. Frame the answers in such a way beforehand that you do not have to repeat any point or any expression. Why does the gardener want the bonsai to remain small and weak? The questions are more or less connected, interconnected question. Therefore, you must think really well. You must think before you write. The nature of a tree is to grow large and strong. And the gardener wants the bonsai to be small and weak against its normal nature. You will have to mention this at the very beginning of this answer. The nature of a tree is to grow large and strong. Since a bonsai is used as a decorative piece, it has to be tied down. I'll just add B. It has to be tied down and trimmed. Therefore, the gardener wants it to remain small and weak. After this, what is its implication in the poem? Why does the gardener want the bonsai to remain small and weak? The gardener is happy at what he is doing without thinking what injustice he has done to the plant. After all, he is controlling the normal growth of the plant, and this is an injustice. He keeps its roots bound so it does not raise its head too high and is justifying his act by citing biological reasons. Trimming and cutting down refers to the societal standards by which women are dominated. Biological reasons are given to justify gendered injustices. What is the main idea now? You will have to write the theme of this poem. If you are asked to explain the main idea, that means you will have to write the theme, the subject matter of the poem. The poem, A Work of Artifice, speaks against the patriarchal system followed in most societies. Number 1, you must mention this. Central theme is oppression of women. Number 2, direct to the point answer, their inability to grow and how society has kept them, tied them to ancient customs. Social conditioning begins at a very early stage of life. So this is the theme, and I have explained the theme very briefly. Passage number 2 now. Quickly read passage number 2. And we'll start discussing the questions and answers. What is the function of the gardener? What function of the gardener alluded to in the poem is in reality regressive and harmful. How? Alluded, referred to, symbolism. The function of the gardener is to limit the normal growth of the bonsai tree. This is his basic function. He has to prune the roots and branches, whittle the branches every day. The bonsai does not need much watering. The bonsai does not need much watering and care. So the function of the gardener is constant pruning. What function of the gardener alluded to in the poem is in reality regressive and harmful. The injustice. You will have to write about the injustice now. The bondage, he is pruning the roots, he is tying the roots tightly. This is bondage, and this bondage used to keep the bonsai from growing is also found in the lives of women. Very, very important, the symbolic significance of this allusion. The social limitations imposed upon women are regressive and harmful. Again, gendered injustices. Students, I have discussed all of these in the easy explanation video. So check out the easy explanation video and check the pinned comment section for the playlist. When the gardener ties the roots, he is doing wrong. And when society tries to control women, this is harmful and regressive. I hope you will learn how to write such answers as you practice. 2. In what way or tone, I'll have to mention the tone, does the gardener speak? What picture do you form of the gardener in your mind? Picture of the gardener, critical comment. According to the new pattern, you will have to write answers based on your interpretation. तुम सोच क्या रहे हो किसी poem के बारे में, किसी concept के बारे में. So clarity of concepts is a must. You must study in detail, no shortcuts, no summary. Read the text thoroughly and understand the concepts. You will have to write about the tone. The gardener happily, this is the tone, croons and tells the bonsai tree that it is its nature to be small. It is its nature to be small, weak and domesticated. He is speaking in a gentle tone. He is trying to convince the bonsai here. And what picture do you form? What is your analysis? It is ironical. This is my analysis, my interpretation. Ironical that the gardener is justifying the injustice done to the bonsai by crooning. वो ठीक नहीं कर रहा है. He is trying to justify his act. The word croons is a gentle word, but here it has a patronizing implication. Patronizing implication. This implication is not good, but dominating. He is speaking in a gentle tone, but the meaning is to dominate the bonsai. He is trying to convince the bonsai. The gardener thus seems. This is my opinion. I will use seems, perhaps, words like this in order to present my opinion. Seems to be cunning and deceptive. Very, very important. So he is using falsehood and deception. In what way is the gardener wrong? Mention any 3 ways. According to the new pattern, you will be asked to mention 3 ways, 1 way, 2 ways. You may change paragraphs and you may write in a single paragraph. It's up to you. The nature of a tree is to grow large, but the gardener prunes the roots and branches and ties them to control its growth. So this is wrong, number 1, and is against the laws of nature. This is number 1. Number 2, he tries to convince the tree that it is lucky to be a little tree. He uses falsehood. As discussed, he uses falsehood here, and this is again wrong. The gardener is happy at what he is doing without thinking about the injustice he has done. After this, what do the last lines suggest? Explain the last lines and also give a critical comment. Analyze it critically. The gardener is conditioning the bonsai plant to believe that it is its nature to remain 9 inches high, small, to be kept in a pot as a piece of interior decoration, and here it is safe from the sources of nature like wind, water, lightning. It is not strong biologically. He is giving these reasons to justify his actions. Read the last lines and you will understand the explanation. So, what do the lines suggest? He is giving reasons to justify his actions. The critical analysis. What does the word croons means? What does it imply? The word croons means sings. The word meaning, it is a gentle word, coddling as if crooning over a baby or a pet animal. The word croons here is derogatory, अच्छा नहीं है, condescending, patronizing and infantilizing. I have given the word meanings. Just look at the screen and you will learn new words here. Derogatory, condescending and infantilizing, referring to trickery. A synonym of falsehood is trickery. Who is the speaker? Who is being addressed? The gardener who whittles back the branches of the bonsai tree every day is the speaker, and he is addressing the bonsai tree which is kept in the attractive pot as a piece of decoration. This is the basic answer, and here I have given one additional information. This will fetch you full 1 mark. What does the pot mean in the metaphorical context of the poem? Now, they want you to mention the metaphorical meaning. The metaphor. Give its relevance in the growth of women, and the examiner wants you to associate the metaphorical meaning with the position of women. So, critical comment. Question. In the metaphorical context of the poem, A Work of Artifice by Marge Piercy, pot is the house, limited to the domestic sphere. This is the metaphorical significance. And how is this related to women? Women are made to live limited lives, and they are socially conditioned to live within the 4 walls of their households. They are assigned to do the household chores. They are objects of interior decoration. This limited space means loss of physical, mental, spiritual development, and also loss of freedom. In this way, the women are not allowed to grow properly. Grow in all respects, physical, mental and spiritual. What do males do? Now, the role of the male members of the society in a patriarchal setup. What do males do to stunt the growth of women? After the gardener, now we'll have to write about the male members of the society. The male members of the society deceive the women of their liberty. Number 1, deceive women of their liberty. Number 2, condition them to live according to the customs and tradition. Number 3, they take all the decisions of the life of women. Women are not allowed to think, and they treat them as inferiors. Ill treatment, inequality in the relationship. Number 4, just like a gardener who prunes the roots and the branches of the bonsai, the male members compel women to live a life of bondage. This is the 5th point. Like caged birds. Women are like caged birds, and males do all these things in order to keep the woman in a cage. Bring out the significance of the last 2 lines. Read the last 2 lines. In a patriarchal system, a woman is compelled to live a life of subjugation, and this social conditioning to conform to predetermined social rules, to obey predetermined social rules, traditions and customs must begin at a very early stage of her life. A young girl, mentioned young girl, is taught to feel cozy in the small space here household assigned to her and is domesticated. At a tender age, a woman is an insignificant, inferior being who is made to believe in this system, and this shows that it is a process. This is a process, a work of artifice. If you are explaining the last 2 lines, you must write these things. Now, dear students, these are reference materials. Use the reference materials to write your own answers. Adjust the length according to the specific questions available. What stereotypical general role क्या है? Do women play in life? How are they tricked to perform it? They are tricked. Deception. Women play secondary role. This word must be there. In society, they are considered inferior to men and must do household chores. They are valuable as objects for ornamentation. They are expected to love others unconditionally as a dutiful wife, loving mother, and an obedient daughter. And you may also add another thing. They are child bearers. Use this word in your answer. Child bearers for reproduction. And how are they tricked to perform this? They are taught to be submissive, passive, meek, weak, and docile. Men use cunning devices, falsehood to trick them, and use biological reasons to justify gendered injustices. What shift in context is brought out with these lines? The bondage used to keep the bonsai from growing is also found in the lives of women. This is a shift from the bonsai. The poet has shifted to women. In these lines, Marge Piercy targets the chains that bind women. This is the changed shift. After this, in which context are women's feet bound? Why? The feet of women are bound. In some cultures, this is the first meaning. In some cultures, Japanese in particular, feet are tied to make them small and attractive. The bound feet, that is nimble and delicate feet, conform to conventional beauty standards. Moreover, this is the second meaning. Moreover, women are expected to understand their limitations and must stay tied to their responsibilities in the family. Freedom is forbidden. No, 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 they are not allowed to be free. And why? Their feet are bound because if they express their thoughts and feelings to achieve self-assertion, if they question the system, the authority of the male members of the society will be challenged. Therefore, their feet must be bound. And they are also used as objects for show. Add this also, objects of beauty and objects for show. Add this here. Why are women made to look attractive? Women are valuable only as objects of beauty, objects for ornamentation, and objects for show. Now, since you have written this point here, since I have mentioned this here, you may omit this. You may write till ornamentation. Try not to repeat. Avoid repetition. They are made to look attractive, to fulfill the desires of the men. Their mental and spiritual growth are stunted by imposing conventional beauty standards on them. The last two lines again are ironic, figure of speech, irony. How? The use of irony in the last two lines is subtle, not very direct. Halka, एक ironical touch है. Men seek admiration and comfort from women even after imposing limitations on them using trickery. It is perhaps not possible to love and control at the same time. This is not unconditional love, and this is the irony. What does the poet seem to lament? Why is she sorry? What does she expect of women? Marge Piercy records the pain in every woman's life. She laments for her as she allows herself to fit into roles predetermined by patriarchal society without protest. Without protest. She laments for a woman who is asking for more space and freedom to breathe free. She is sad to realize the psychological degeneration of a woman. I have given some reasons why the poet seems to lament. And now her expectation. She expects that women will break the shackles of bondage. Number one, challenge Number 2, the patriarchal mindset. Number 3, fulfill her aspirations, fulfill their aspirations. They must question societal standards. Number 4, through which they are controlled and also expose. Number 5, the trickery and moral degradation of men. Women are psychologically degenerated because men are controlling them, and this shows the moral degradation of men. Men are cunning, and this shows their moral degradation.